let's talk about Bitcoin Satoshi vision. So obviously you guys have been hearing what has been happening. Obviously in the past few days there's been a lot of commotion as far as Bitcoin Satoshi vision is concerned. So today I just want to have like a quick overview of the events that really led up to this whole situation. So I really hope that you guys are really safe as as far as your investments are concerned. I go by the name of Moody. Welcome to Beyond 10x. Feel free to hit the like button, subscribe to my YouTube channel as well, and in case you guys have got any other questions for me, please drop everything in the comment section below. So this is a live stream, so I really hope that everything is working very fine. So big shout out to all my subscribers who happen to be watching right now. You guys are pretty awesome, and smash up the likes. So without further ado, let's jump into this video. So right now the current price of Bitcoin Satoshi vision is about $56.38, and apparently I think it's really going to continue going downhill because apparently there's going to be quite a lot of exchanges which are going to be delisting Bitcoin Satoshi vision due to the fact that Craig Wright has got like a lot of bad traits. I wouldn't really consider them bad traits, but his actions are very questionable, and a lot of people are very pissed off. A lot of people are really offended that a lot of people don't really like Craig Wright because he claims to be the real Satoshi Nakamoto. I mean, I don't really know. I wasn't really there when they were creating Bitcoin, and I don't really know who is Satoshi Nakamoto, who isn't Satoshi Nakamoto. So I don't really have like any right to talk about these things because I am a very non-technical type of guy in terms of coding and all that stuff. So I wouldn't judge. So anyway, a lot of people who happen to be very good at these things, aka Vitalik Buterin, aka the Binance team, whatever, these guys are blatantly saying that Craig Wright is definitely not Satoshi Nakamoto. I mean, if he was Satoshi Nakamoto, right, would it be very difficult to prove, just to set the record straight and just prove everybody that he is the real Satoshi Nakamoto? I mean, obviously there's a lot of Bitcoin wallets out there that really have a lot of Bitcoins. I'm sure he can just end up moving a little bit of those coins just to prove to everybody that he is Satoshi Nakamoto. And if he was Satoshi Nakamoto, right, I think coming out would be a very dumb idea because, I mean, the whole legend of the creation of Bitcoin is something that is really going to be passed on from generation to generation. So getting to really spoil that whole mystic, or rather the whole mysticism around the whole creation of Bitcoin is really going to be a bad idea. It's very good that Satoshi Nakamoto is just somebody who barely does any communication. He rarely says anything, and let's just leave it like that. We don't really want to like find out who the real Satoshi Nakamoto is, because sometimes when you just get to like really find out who the exact person is, you might just end up being disappointed because maybe their attitude is not really as genius as we would expect it to be. So sometimes I really think being quiet, being mysterious is a very good thing, and it actually sells Bitcoin because the whole mystery surrounding Bitcoin is due to the fact that the creators, the founders, aka Satoshi Nakamoto, these guys just created this amazing technology, these amazing protocols, and they just went quiet, and they just didn't do a lot of interviews. They weren't like on the media and all that stuff. So let's just keep the mystery going, and let's just keep it like that. So Craig Wright, if you happen to be Satoshi Nakamoto, I don't know, man, just relax, go wherever you can, and just let it be. Just forget about this whole thing. You don't really need to prove anything to anybody. If you happen to be Satoshi Nakamoto, well, congratulations, you happen to be a very rich person, and nobody really needs to find out that. Nobody really needs to find out about those very expensive details, if I can put it that way. So yeah, big shout out to everybody watching. So right now let me just check out the amount of viewers that I have, and the feedback that I'm having right now. So big shout out to all the watching subscribers of mine right now. So if you guys happen to have any questions, please drop them in the comments section below. So big shout out to you, Alan, homie. What's up? How you doing? Yesterday I think you were asking me if buying is it Bitcoin Cash was a good idea. I don't really remember. So yeah, buying Bitcoin Cash right now is not really a great idea because it is way too overvalued. It is very high. So a lot of people are moving from Bitcoin SV, they are getting back into Bitcoin Cash. So during the early days before Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, really got separated from the Bitcoin Cash team, right? There was like one community, and then what really happened is when there was like a disagreement, right? The Bitcoin Cash community ended up dividing into two. So now what's really happening due to the fact that Bitcoin SV is like really pissing off a lot of people, and for example, large exchanges like Binance, Kraken are going to be delisting Bitcoin SV, right? So the previous community that departed from the initial Bitcoin Cash community is going back into Bitcoin Cash. So this is why you guys are observing that Bitcoin, Cash, the one which is obviously spearheaded by, what's the guy's name again? I've forgotten his name. He's a very vocal person as well. Oh my God, he's very active in the Asian community. I've forgotten his name. I have forgotten his name. So if you guys can remind me in the comment section, that would be very awesome. Yeah, Roger Ver. The people who got splitted, who got separated from the Roger Ver team are going back to the Roger Ver team. So as you guys can clearly see, Bitcoin Cash is obviously doing very well because apparently a lot of people are very pissed off. So let's just head over to Bitcoin Satoshi Vision Reddit because it's very important for us to always look at the feedback that people are having right now. So Alan Homie is still asking me about BCH, if it's a good buy or not. I think I just gave you my answer. I don't really think it's a good buy right now because it has tremendously gone up, and just give it a little bit of time. There's always going to be a lot of buying opportunities because the cryptocurrency market is very volatile, and there's obviously going to be another buying opportunity. So please do not ever rush. And if you didn't really get to like buy Bitcoin Cash a little bit earlier, please don't do it right now because you're just going to end up losing your money. So yeah, right now if we check out the Bitcoin SV Reddit forum, a lot of people are very unhappy. A lot of people are obviously expressing their frustrations, as you guys can clearly see right over here. This guy is saying that he's definitely out. That's it for me. I am out. I really wanted to believe in Craig Wright's vision, but I don't really like what's happening right now. I just want a peer-to-peer cash system, not a gigantic database for cat videos. I thought people like Kelvin would help the ecosystem grow. Instead, they're making legal cases against Twitter trolls. And I was hoping Craig Wright would finally prove to be Satoshi, but it was all talk and no action. The whole community is fed up with it, and it has come to a point where the exchanges that matter delete us. So I'm selling now while it's still possible and when the price is still over $50. So as you guys can clearly see, right, a lot of people who initially believed in Craig Wright, because Craig Wright is a person who's very convincing. Whenever he is having his lectures, whenever he's doing his presentations, right, he's a very intelligent guy, and obviously he's got very good proposals and all that stuff. But the way that he just acts, if only he can just learn to control his Twitter fingers, if only he can be very professional, I think it would definitely do the whole entire Bitcoin Satoshi Vision community justice, because sometimes he gets a lot of people in trouble, because right now these actions are happening because of Craig Wright's attitude, and the whole entire Bitcoin Satoshi Vision community is going to be affected. Think about the miners, the people who were believing in Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, the people who have been supporting the BSV blockchain. What's really going to happen to the nodes? If a lot of miners just abandon the whole entire ecosystem, what's really going to happen to the people who were spending quite a lot of money paying for the electricity to keep the the BSV nodes running? What's really going to happen to those people? What's really going to happen to the people who believed in this whole entire cryptocurrency you know, this whole entire BSV, what's really going to happen to everybody? So Craig Wright definitely has to be sat down. He needs to be like told, he needs somebody to control his Twitter so that he doesn't really get to like, you know, get to make these mistakes again. So there's another important guy that I really want to talk about. This guy, Kelvin Air. I think he's the one who's responsible for the mining, for the miners. I mean, he's got like a mining company, and these guys are making sure that the whole entire BSV ecosystem is running as far as proof of work is concerned. But this guy seems to be supporting Craig Wright. He really is like a huge supporter of his. Like whatever Craig Wright manages to do, I mean, this guy is obviously always you know, having Craig Wright's back, and that's really a very good friendship. So according to his Twitter account, right, he's just been you know, talking about the whole entire situation, and he's been actually saying, or rather claiming, that Binance is full of fake volume, so it doesn't really matter whether Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is delisted. So basically he's supporting Craig Wright, and according to him, he really believes that Craig Wright is Satoshi. He's got a you know, hashtag here saying Craig Wright is definitely Satoshi, and these guys are just going to go over and do the legal system. They're going to go to court, and these guys are definitely serious about suing people who are you know, really saying that Craig Wright is not Satoshi Nakamoto. So, you know, I'm not really saying Craig Wright is not Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't really want to be sued because I do not have any extra money to go to court and all that stuff. So yeah, I really hope I'm not really going to get sued. So as you guys can clearly see, right, these guys are really supporting each other. For example, this media stunt Vitalik and the rest of Craig's trolls put yesterday is likely illegal market manipulation and likely breaks other laws. So these guys are very upset. I'm sure you know, their pockets are hurting right now, because obviously this guy, he's investing in the mining aspect of BSV, and just getting to see his entire operation go down due to this very you know, silly mistake is a very bad business move, if you can put it that way. So yeah, according to him, I don't know, he's just full throttle supporting Craig Wright, and you guys better check out his Twitter as well. So the other thing that I really wanted to talk to you guys about is obviously the technical aspect of BSV, right? If you guys did watch yesterday's video, I did talk about this amazing indicator, which is the Moody Slingshot. It is a very good indicator that really allows you to check out aggressive entries versus conservative entries. So as you guys can clearly see right now, right, we are obviously having these red lines. That just really means that we are obviously in a downward momentum. So even before Binance and other cryptocurrencies delisted BSV, this cryptocurrency was like really going downhill. I mean, it was just having consistent downward momentum. So as you guys can clearly see, right over here, we had a very good conservative sell signal right over here, and then we had another conservative sell signal right around this area. So regardless of what happened to the price of BSV, there was clear signs that this cryptocurrency was obviously going to perform very badly. Like a while back, let's just look at the number of days since the conservative entry was put up here. Like this happened like 40 days ago. As you guys can clearly see, we had about 40 bars, right? And you guys clearly had a very good sell signal right around this area, which was like 1 month ago. So if you guys were obviously you know, trading this cryptocurrency, I think selling or going short on Bitcoin SV was a very good you know, thing to do. And obviously the people who were doing the right thing, going short on Bitcoin SV, obviously got to like really benefit from the technicals right around this area. So just like somebody said, show me the charts and I'll let you guys know what the news is. I think, you know, the technicals are far much more superior as opposed to the fundamentals. So even though Binance is just currently delisting these you know, Bitcoin SV, right, the technicals were telling us from a long time ago that this thing was actually going to go downhill. All right, so yeah, you could have made quite a lot of money. Personally, I'm not really I wasn't really trading Bitcoin SV because I can't really trade Bitcoin SV on using leverage, because I usually trade on BitMEX. And yeah, there's no way of me actually getting to like short the market. So as you can see, I don't know, you guys obviously made a very good amount of money shorting this whole entire Bitcoin SV. So the most important question that I want to ask is Bitcoin SV going to recover? Are these guys going to be able to like end up going back up? I mean, if Kelvin, if this guy and his entire group of friends, I mean, I believe these guys are millionaires. In fact, maybe a lot of them are billionaires. If they can get a lot of people to like buy back Bitcoin SV, I think it can recover. But the whole entire cryptocurrency community, I don't think people are going to be touching Bitcoin SV because there's a lot of commotion. So it might all of a sudden, you know, have some sort of recovery. Then it's never really going to stay up for a while, and then it's just going to continue going back down. So even though it's going to recover in the future, I don't really think it's going to be there for like a very long period of time, because as you guys can clearly see from this point, right, there was situations where Bitcoin SV would have done better than a lot of other cryptocurrencies out there. Like for example, most of most of the alternative cryptocurrencies have actually gotten to recover. But if you look at Bitcoin SV, right, it was just free falling all this time, and the indicators that we have here were just telling us that this thing is actually going to continue going down. So I don't know, like you guys have to be extremely careful, but of course you guys always have to look out for the volume. If we're going to have a situation where the volume is going to all of a sudden drastically start going up, right, like it did right around this area, as you guys can clearly see, we had a situation where Bitcoin SV was obviously going down, right, all the way from this very top right over here. The volume was declining, and then all of a sudden we had a spike in volume. So if that thing happens, if we're going to have a spike in volume, then I'm obviously going to like look at some buying opportunities just to make a little bit of a quick flip, because we might have a situation where Bitcoin SV ends up bouncing back, and that's really going to be a very good money making opportunity. So right now, if you guys really want to jump into Bitcoin SV, I would really urge you guys to give it a little bit of time, wait for the dust to settle, because right now you might just end up catching a falling knife, because a lot of people are frustrated. A lot of people really don't want anything to do with Bitcoin Satoshi vision. So let me just take a little drink right now. Yeah, do we have any other questions right over here? So Alan, what's going on? Where are you from? Are you from Ireland? I think Alan is from Ireland, if my memory serves me right. So the other thing that I really wanted to bring to your attention is are we ready for decentralization? Because for example, as far as delisting Satoshi Vision is concerned, I don't really think that that was very appropriate, because I mean, when it comes to cryptocurrencies, right, obviously just because somebody like Craig Wright is somebody who just like blatantly says anything that comes to his mind, he just doesn't really know how to act professionally, if I can put it that way. That doesn't really mean that the whole entire community has to suffer because of one person. So I don't really think Binance should have gone as far as delisting the Bitcoin SV currency, because I really think the whole entire Bitcoin SV is really going to be affected. Think about the people who actually went all in on Bitcoin SV. I mean, that's really a bad thing. So if they had to like take any action against Craig Wright, right, they would have given them, I don't know, like a 1 month period where they would not be trading Bitcoin SV, for example, on Binance. Then later on activate the trading of Bitcoin SV, not completely delisting Bitcoin SV, because a lot of families out there are really going to be affected just because of one person's bad action. So I don't know. And when it comes to decentralization, right, obviously we all want to be in an environment which is going to allow us to not really depend on the powers of somebody. Like right now, Binance really holds quite a lot of power. Binance is so very powerful, and I mean, if CZ can actually just say, hey, we don't like you, we don't like what you represent, you're not really going to be part of our exchange, and you're done with. So I don't know, that's a lot of power for one person to hold. So right now, a lot of cryptocurrency executives out there really understand that they do not have to piss off CZ of Binance. Like if you really go against CZ, you really risk your whole entire cryptocurrency getting delisted. So, I don't really think it's supposed to be like that, because we really need to be decentralized. We don't really want to give one entity a lot of power. So that's something that I was just like really thinking about. And what do you guys think about this? Are we ready for decentralization yet? Because if we talk about the blockchain, right, and immutable ledger, right, there's obviously going to be a lot of bad things which are going to come with it. Let's say, for example, we have this blockchain where anybody can post anything, and those things which are posted on that particular blockchain is not really ever going to be delisted. Anybody can have access to that. What about people who are running pedophilia type of scenarios? What about people who are going to be posting nasty stuff on that particular blockchain, right? Everybody's going to have access to those material, to that type of material. So are we ready for the real decentralization yet? Are we ready to face all the things that are really going to come with real decentralization? Because, for example, imagine the whole entire dark web being legal. Do you know how really bad that can really get? So obviously we need to like think about a lot of stuff. Even though we really crave decentralization, there's going to be a few factors which are really going to end up disturbing the norm, if I can put it that way. So that's just something that I really wanted to talk about. And the other thing that I really wanted to bring to your attention is, how is Bitcoin SV going to end up surviving? Obviously these guys need to come up with their own exchange. They need to have their own ecosystem where people can obviously get to trade peer-to-peer, because after all, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision is a peer-to-peer cash type of electronic cash type of system. So obviously the developers who are working on Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, right, they have to make sure that this doesn't really get to repeat itself. They really need to have a decentralized type of exchange where nobody can ever get to like delist them. So if these guys are going to be able to like make such a decentralized type of exchange, are people going to be able to gravitate towards that particular decentralized exchange that they're going to be able to make? So those are the things that I was thinking about. So please let me know what you think about this whole situation, and what do you think the situation is? Do you really think CZ holds the right to delist any cryptocurrency due to the fact that, for example, I don't know, somebody's antics is like really way overboard? Do you think it's a really good idea to just simply erase a whole entire cryptocurrency community and their ability to trade their particular cryptocurrency in a matter of days, just like that? So those are basically the things that I really wanted to have a discussion with you. And what do you think? Because as far as I'm concerned, Kraken is also going to be able to delist Bitcoin SV. So let's look at Bitcoin SV right now, according to Kraken Exchange. So as you guys can clearly see, right, there was this post which was done. They really wanted to find out whether Kraken needed to delist Bitcoin SV, because Binance is obviously setting a very good example. So all these exchanges want to follow whatever Binance does. So let me just try to vote. So don't care, vote. So according to the results, about 72% of the people really want Kraken to delist Bitcoin SV. So as you guys can clearly see, right, a lot of people are fed up with Craig Wright's antics, and a lot of people really want this whole Bitcoin SV to die and just cease to exist. But as far as Bitcoin Core is concerned, right, I think the price of Bitcoin drastically went down due to Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, and all that stuff. There was like a lot of dilution in terms of the price of Bitcoin Core. So the price dropping from all the way from about, I don't know, 20,000 all the way to about 3,000 US dollars. I think one of the major reasons, besides the usual manipulation by the big dogs, I think Bitcoin Cash and all these forks were really responsible for the price dilution and destroying the value of Bitcoin Core. So I don't know. Please let me know what you guys think. So as far as trading Bitcoin SV is concerned, we already talked about the technicals as well, and I already told you if I'm ever going to be buying Bitcoin Satoshi Vision, I'm obviously going to be looking out for the volume. So that's a very important trading indicator that you guys can actually get to use. So do you have any other questions? So Matrix AI, let's take a look at Matrix AI. So last year I bought a little bit of Matrix AI, but I just didn't follow up. The market cap is still very undervalued, still about 22.6 million US dollars. There's a lot of room to grow. The 24-hour volume is pretty decent, though I'm not really sure whether this is legit volume. So yeah, let's look at the I don't know, these exchanges are very I don't know, they are, I don't really want to say shady. They are very reasonable. Obviously, if you look at KuCoin, right, the amount of volume on KuCoin is only about 40,000 US dollars. L Bank, I've never heard about L Bank. I've never used it before. So we've got almost 614,000 US dollars. So I don't know. You guys let me know. It's been a while since I looked at Matrix AI, and obviously there's quite a lot of room to grow. Personally, I haven't really gotten the chance to buy more Matrix AI. I don't know. Maybe a little bit later, I'm going to buy a little bit of Matrix AI, but right now I'm just really sticking to the big dogs. Just like I told you, the top 10 cryptocurrencies, those are the ones that I'm mostly focusing on because they are having quite a lot of development as well. So big shout out to you, Marco Pons. Big shout out to you, Max Mass, and yeah, fed up with both Doctor and Sleazy. BSV from day one was against these scam exchanges. So, Maximus, I don't know. So, what's your opinion about this whole situation? Do you think it was a great idea that Bitcoin SV was deleted from Binance? Because, I don't know, Craig Wright is against these other exchanges as well. Do you think it's a really great move for them to, like, just go back to the drawing board and obviously come up with their own exchange? And how are they going to survive? So, please let me know in the comment section below. So I am finally done with this stream, so I hope you guys had a very good time. You guys already know what to do. Smash up the likes, drop me a comment, share this video, turn on post notifications, that really good bell symbol right around my YouTube channel. Just click on that so that you guys can really get updated. So I'm going to be coming back at you with another update today because I want to make another video today. So I'm obviously going to be coming at you with another banger as far as trading is concerned. So yeah, I hope you guys are going to end up making quite a lot of profit when it comes to trading a lot of these alternative cryptocurrencies. So you already know what to do. Be good, stay safe, do a lot of research, and do not ever invest in anything that anybody recommends you, including myself. So please always take whatever advice you get from anybody with a little bit of grain of salt, because you might never know. People have got other intentions out there. So do not trust anybody, including myself. Always do your research, do trades based on your own trading IQ, and always do whatever you want to do. Don't ever listen to anybody. So it's been your boy Moody, and I'm obviously going to be talking to you guys a little bit later. Take care, have fun, and stay profitable. I'm definitely